All right, where have you been? We've been waiting this whole time.
This whole time.
This whole time. Okay, we're on the road. And Underway. This is a 6-month trip. We've got a new season thing we want to share with you at the end of this video, and it's ambitious. It's so ambitious that I don't even think we're going to be able to complete it this year. I think we're going to need some of next year too.
We might need about like 18 months.
But lately we've been receiving so many emails from people that say, I'm about to go on my farthest trip.
Yeah.
Or my longest trip. And they have so many questions. And Holt sent us an email, and I emailed him back and I said, these are such great questions. Do you mind if I share your email in next week's video? And he said he'd be honored.
Oh, yay.
So
okay.
Do you want to read the email?
Yes, I do. Okay. I retired this fall and I'm planning a cross-country RV trip to California with my wife. I've been watching your videos for years, dreaming of this day. But now, as I'm planning it, I'm getting nervous. I totally get it.
We were there.
I totally get it. Okay, we've been camping for years and our second RV is only a couple years old. I'm just worried about major breakdowns and not knowing what to do so far from home, or driving right by something cool. We'll only to find out about it days later.
FOMO.
Totally get it. Just wanting this to be the perfect trip and nervous about everything. And any advice to calm my cross-country first-timer nerves would be greatly appreciated. I don't expect a personalized response, but if you could address how to cope with some of these fears, please include them in future videos. I just need a little pep talk, I guess. Well, we're here for a personalized response.
Yes, that's exactly what we're going to do in this episode, is answer those questions, maybe a little pep talk, as we prepare to hit the road for 6 months.
Yes, it's all sprinkled within the video.
Yes, but first, somebody sent me a song, put some money in your memory bank.
So cool.
And you know me, when I hear a good song, we got to create a montage, get everybody excited about this upcoming season. So let's hit the road and we'll get started.
Singing Fleetwood Mac, reading Kerouac with an old Kodak.
And we'll see you again soon.
Bye, Florida.
Carolina Pines, Georgia on my mind. Crossing state lines through the Gulf Shore.
Well, thank you very much.
Gateway to the west, Colorado's blessed. I'll invest my time in the gold rush. Put on your sunglasses, yeah, we're striking matches to all this madness behind us. There's no guarantee. We got everything we need. Gonna chase the sun, make a little fun while we're willing and able. Gotta shoot your shot, give it all you got. Laying all our cards on the table. Got a carpe diem, road trip, museum. Burn up all the gas in the tank. Put your money in the memory bank. Put your money in the memory bank. Snacks at the gas station, billboard education, parks across the nation to see. I know we gotta eat and gas ain't cheap, baby, making love's free. There's no guarantee.
This is the place to be.
We got everything we need. Gonna chase the sun, make a little fun while we're willing and able. Gotta shoot your shot, give it all you got. Laying all the cards on the table. Got a carpe diem, road trip, museum. Burn up all the gas in the tank. Put your money in the memory bank. Put your money in the memory bank.
I know a big concern for people when you're going to go on a trip longer than you've ever gone before is how is your equipment going to hold up and what happens if you have a problem. So I've got a couple suggestions on this. The first is make sure you leave yourself ample time to check up on your rig before your trip. So if you identify a problem, you actually have time to get it fixed without putting undue pressure on yourself. If you have a motorized RV, this might be a month in advance, because if you have an issue with the chassis or the engine, then you actually need time to schedule an appointment and get the work done. For towable RVs, you might be a little bit more lenient because there are not quite as many things that would prevent you from actually hooking up and leaving. For that, mainly it comes down to the tires, and that's something that I check regularly. But if it's the beginning of the season, it's a great idea to go and check for cracks, check to make sure that they're in good condition, checking for the wear, stuff like that. But it's also good to just check all the systems. Check the 12-volt systems. Check your water heater. Is that working? Uh-oh. Does that mean we're out of propane? Or does that mean the propane tank is off? Or does that mean we have a problem? I just opened up this valve, so let's try again. Looks like it was just the propane, but you kind of hear it gurgling real quick, so I'm just going to leave it on for a few minutes while I do some other things, and then I'll turn it off. I'll tell you the importance of keeping a list of small maintenance-related items when you're on a trip, because when you get home and you put the RV back and you go into your normal routine, inevitably there's other things that need your attention. You will forget something like the fact that this falls down. And it would have been very easy for me to go to Woodland's Airstream parts department online and order these, because I've already done it for those, but I didn't write it down in my little maintenance log. Luckily, these have 2 struts, and I noticed when I was installing those on the other one that it only takes 1 strut to hold it up, so I will actually go borrow that strut for here. That will probably hold it up. And that's just one. I got this one to do. Man, that is so nice. If you do end up having a problem on the road, and we've been in this situation many times, there's a couple things to keep in mind. One is, everything is figure-outable. You will come out the other end of it. The other thing is, oftentimes, the spontaneous plan B can be even more memorable than the perfectly planned A. Because when something goes wrong, your plans might have gone out the window. But oftentimes it's because of a deviation in our plan that we end up discovering something completely new that we had no idea. And it's those unexpected things in a trip that we look back at and go, oh my gosh, remember when this happened, and then we changed this, and we lost that reservation, but we booked over here, and then we found that amazing hike. I can't tell you how many times we've been in that situation. As a result, Trish and I have done a lot less planning because we like the spontaneity of a trip. And maybe in this video we'll chat about how we do our route planning. But in short, we put in big dates, big events, our big rocks, what we call, and then we just kind of fill in the gaps as we go. That way we leave some room for spontaneity, and that way if there's something that we like, we can stay a little longer, and if there's something we don't like, we can move on up ahead. But inevitably things are going to go wrong when you're on the road, and you're going to figure it out. It's just going to be a momentary issue, but it happens to everybody. Don't fall into the trap of thinking, oh, I knew it, I knew this was going to happen, and maybe we're not cut up for this, because it'd be very easy to start blaming yourself that maybe you're not experienced enough or good enough. Don't listen to that. Just, we had an issue, how do we get the issue fixed, and then how do we create a new plan? That's my take. So I'm doing my walk around, but because I'm out of practice, I'm going to take a little extra time. And I also remind myself that slow is pro. Anytime I have a problem, oftentimes it's because I think I'm in a hurry. I'm not actually in a hurry. For some reason, I just think I'm in a hurry. So I have to remind myself on days that we're towing that we're not actually in a hurry. It's not going to make any real difference what time we get there. And that the amount of time it takes to fix a problem is going to be a lot longer than towing too fast or just not going slow. Slow is pro. We're good. Compressor. The other thing I do when I do a walk around is I do a close-up walk around where I'm looking for things that are connected properly and you know, make sure I remove the chocks and things like this. All the latches are closed and windows. But then I do another pass further away and I look for things like, what did I leave around the rig? Are the vent fans closed? If you have like a Starlink mounted or a dish on top, are those all down? Things like this. So, you know, those close-up walk-arounds, further away walk around. Okay. Tow haul's on. Looks like the airbags are holding. I don't know if we covered that or not. This morning I went out to Mac Auto Repair in Dade City. It's a great shop, highly recommend, especially if you have a diesel and a Ford. He knows what he's doing. And we actually went around and checked all the air leaks in the system to make sure it's holding air.
Hi.
Hey, how are you?
Good.
Hey, I hope this is okay. I kind of feel bad.
Why?
Well, I went to a Catskill without you.
Oh,
I know how much you love them.
I'm so sad.
I knew you would be. I'll tell you what, I'll make it up to you. I'll fill our fresh tank full of water and we'll go back and do it again.
Oh my gosh, it's like you know how to speak directly into my heart.
Yum.
Okay, what do you need to do?
I need to throw this away. I cannot have this near me. It is so good. Cheese, salty, caramel, sweet,
Sweet cheeses.
popcorn, crunchy. It's gotta go. It's gotta go.
It's gotta go.
It's gotta go.
If you recall, last weekend's video was the cookbook photo shoot, and thank you for everyone's comments about, you know, just so many nice things about people who've watched the kids grow up and they like seeing the family together, and that's all really cool. But Trish, of course, is still cooking, and she's making Illinois' sweet cheeses popcorn. And caramel's involved, and she burned herself. So when you're making, when you're stirring hot caramel, be careful. Anyhow, so I ran to Walgreens to get some hydrocortisone. We actually have a first responders first aid kit. It wasn't crazy expensive, but a little more than a normal first aid kit. And it, of course, comes with this case, and we keep it with the truck. That's by design. If we kept it in the RV, we're afraid that if we were out on a bike ride or if we were out hiking or doing something that we wouldn't have it with us. So we leave this in the truck. I think first aid is definitely something to think about when you're going on a long trip. And I got the first responders kit because it had some things in here that was just a little bit more elevated than a first aid kit. Like, for instance, I heard from a sailing channel and maybe an EMT the importance of having a really good tourniquet, because if you were, you know, ever involved in a bad accident, this might be the thing that could come in really handy, because you need time to get to, you know, treatment and care. So anyhow, I just replenished it with a whole bunch of Band-Aids and gauze and cleaning spray, and it's amazing how much we've picked at this first aid kit over the years. And when I needed just something as simple as a Band-Aid, it's like, geez, this thing's really depleted. So this was a good opportunity for us to replenish it and put it back in the truck. Yeah, what do you got here?
I have my shoes. Love my shoes.
How many of those can you fit?
Oh, so many. So many. Okay, listen, there's nothing like an RV trip that will show you that you have enough. You have enough clothes, supplies, it's time to go. So really the question is, how do you leave things behind? I think that knowing your mission is one of the best ways. I know that we're gonna cycle, so I have like little packing cubes where I keep my cycling things, because I don't have to get into it every day.
Yeah.
If I had to get into something every day, it would really be like in a zone, not in a container. That way it's not so hard to put away, and then you just get lazy and you don't do it. But using, you know, I have so much.
So are you planning on going to the camouflage
to
for the jungle?
I'm going to the jungle. But really, know your mission, because that will help you eliminate, and then know your zones, because that'll help you put things away.
Yeah.
Have really cool things that help you keep things contained, but then also factor in the lazy. I've said this before, when you're organizing spaces, you have to have one spot where you can just kind of throw something.
Catch all.
Yes, and it really will become a barometer for you of like, it's time to clean up.
Yeah.
But it does give you that like time and space to just be like, I am tired, I just got back from a hike, or I just need to throw this in one area, or this is laundry. But other than that, eliminate, because you know what you're actually going to go do. You're going to go hike, you're going to go be outdoors, you're traveling, you're seeing. So, you know, shoes like this you probably don't need.
But I know everyone's thinking, Trish, what is this? Because it is really handy, huh?
It is. You know, in our first couple rigs, we had ones that hung on the outside.
Yeah.
But with this rig, you can't hang things on the outside.
Yeah.
So I found this for the inside, and it's
I like it.
we'll link it.
Okay.
But it's pretty cool. It has a little cover, but I don't use the cover.
Yeah, I noticed you got your extra tough boots. You keeping those?
Oh my gosh, I'm so glad you said that.
Why?
Because this is so important. Layers. It rains all the time. No matter if, well, okay, so this is one way to put it. No matter where you're coming from, it's going to be different where you're going. So you might be very hot. I'm sweating. We're in Florida, but we're gonna go where it's cold. So I need layers, obviously, like sweatshirts and things, but I also need a rain layer. So if you have a lightweight rain layer and you have like something heavyweight, I have both.
Yes.
But you could just wear a sweatshirt under your lightweight rain. But just remember, it rains and you need layers.
You know, the idea here is that you put these hangers up and then they don't move. That's exactly what happens. Your clothes don't move. If you're going on a trip for just the weekend, you know, you don't bring that many clothes, it's probably nice. But when you're trying to jam as many clothes as you possibly can get in here for 6 months, well, these not moving is just so annoying. So I put a new blade on here, and the name of the game is to cut this and not me. That looked good, but nothing's actually happening. Nothing's happening. Oh my gosh, let's go slow here. Holy cow, is that thick rubber? Oh, that was a little better. Oh my gosh. Come on, baby. Come on. It's a little better than I thought it was gonna go. I'll tell you that. I thought it was gonna go to the emergency room. All right, let's see. Woo! Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Look at this. What's that Tom Petty song? Trish, we have to go.
I know, but I have to make sure that my angel biscuits work. Do you see these flakes of butter? They're gorgeous.
Oh my gosh. Is there like a Mississippi saying?
Oh, how about I'm gonna butter them biscuits?
I'm gonna butter them biscuits. All right, a couple things. We gotta talk about administrative stuff, mail, bills, all that stuff, files. This is how we do it. You know, everyone's in a different situation, different stage of life. If you have kids, or if you're retired, or if you just retired, there might be a little bit more paperwork. I will tell you, in our experience, it's amazing. Life doesn't stop, even though you're on a long trip. And for a long time, we traveled with a printer, but now we've pulled back from that a little bit. But this is our file system, and you know, we've got a file for the truck and a file for the Airstream, and we've got medical, you know, key medical records. Trish, what else do you keep in here?
Just vital records, voting, you know, that kind of stuff.
Okay. So it is interesting how often we have to go to the key stuff, and I think you could probably figure out what do you think is the key stuff, and what's some stuff you think you can leave at home. Mail. We have been using Traveling Mailbox for close to 10 years. We actually started it before we went off to season 1, just to kind of give it a trial and see what was it like to receive mail by email and then open and scan. And it's been fantastic. In fact, as soon as it started happening and we turned off our mail at the house, all the junk mail stopped, because so much mail you receive is to the resident of. So all that goes away, which is wonderful. And then the other advantage is that when we receive the mail, we open it up as a PDF and then you download it into a file. So you already have it all digitally scanned, which is really great for being on the road. And then you don't have to worry about someone checking your mail and forwarding you key documents. Now, there is a drawback to Traveling Mailbox, and that is that you pick an address anywhere in the country. They have these addresses, but then the mail is sent there, and then it's forwarded to, I believe Traveling Mailbox is in North Carolina. So it's forwarded to North Carolina, and then they scan it and send it to you. That can add about 7 to 10 days to the process. So if there's something that's urgent or critical, it's amazing how long 10 days seems. Other than that, it's been really, really terrific, and it's affordable. And a lot of people are concerned about having someone else open and scan their mail. I haven't had any issues. I haven't heard of anyone having any issues. But a lot of people ask about mail, so I wanted to make sure that you knew what we do with that.
Okay, we should probably figure out the, whatever it's called, the breaker.
Oh, yes. And turn all this off. There we go. And then I'm gonna change out this breaker because this morning Trish was doing the dryer and it turned off and couldn't figure it out. And I called Scott and he says it's probably your breaker. So I'm gonna just change this out. But we're sharing because on your departure day, there might be things along the way. You're like, oh my gosh, it's overwhelming to think all the little things that you still have to do. Happens to everybody. Okay.
Did you really turn it off?
It is really off.
Yes.
Let's see if it goes though.
This is very good.
Nice.
Well done.
Well, we did this because they're going to have friends and family that are coming and going, and they can't not have a dryer.
Yeah, no.
I mean, we're not going to have a dryer, but they can't not have a dryer. We're going to have plenty. We're going to have laundromats. Trish, we're going to be able to do our laundry 6 loads at a time.
Yes. Don't be jelly.
Don't be jelly. You need something like that? I think, yeah, I actually probably do. I think it's important to talk about tools, what tools to bring if you're going on a longer RV trip, or really just any RV trip. Ultimately, I think this comes down to how handy you are, or how mechanical you are, how likely you are to handle some of the things on your RV. If you're doing a lot of the stuff on your RV as it relates to maintenance and repairs, then you're probably going to need to bring a lot of tools. But if you're not, and you're going to a mechanic or an RV repair person to get that done, then probably just basic tools would be enough. There's some situations that you'll find yourself in where you won't have access to someone that can help you, and then you'll just hit YouTube and find out that it's pretty simple, and you can use Amazon to send you the part. Like, for instance, hot water heaters. Notoriously, the circuit board on a hot water heater will bust. And so, you could just go pick one up at a local RV repair shop, even in like Glacier. I mean, it's crazy. You go to a hardware store. There's a pretty good one at Glacier, actually, True Value. One thing I never leave without now is a full set of sockets and deep sockets, because I find that I use these more than almost anything. I've got this socket here, but then in the back of the Airstream, I actually have an entire socket kit. I probably use that and channel locks more than anything. In terms of organization, here's what I do. I've got my little Milwaukee bag here that I keep in the back of the truck, and I just put all the screwdrivers and the channel locks and drill bits and just small stuff in here that I use on a more regular basis, Allen wrenches and blades and stuff like that. And then that way it's just kind of easy to get around. I'll go to this 80% of the time. And then 20% of the time, that's where I use this guy right here, and I keep this a little further back in the truck, and that's where I put larger channel locks, hammer, clippers. I'm not sure why I have 2 of those. Actually, I know exactly why I have 2 of those. Motrin? Who else keeps Motrin in their tool bag? Seriously. Come on. That's for pecs. That definitely comes. What are you doing?
Reconfiguring things the moment before we leave.
Come on, seriously though, have we ever been this organized on a departure day? Ever?
Yeah, I feel like we have hours left.
I know. What's even happening?
I don't know. We might be getting good at this.
Let's not. No, I don't know about that. Out of all the possibilities of why we feel ahead of schedule, that's not it.
That's not it.
Okay. Hi.
Okay. Trying to get some stuff done.
New season. New pair of Crocs.
Oh, you're funny.
I even have accessories for these. I'll show you those later. All right, I always like to provide a little what's in the bed recap before we hit each season. Did things a little differently this season, so we'll go through the side here. Because the bin, the full bin is over there, I keep things in that corner, like that extra 5 gallons of 10 pounds propane tank, and extra def, and a rain tarp, because these aren't things that's not a corner I need to get into very often. And then 5 pounds of diesel, which I can't tell you how many times it's just been peace of mind. Get out and you're just can't find diesel, you're like, well, at least I'm not gonna be stranded. And then of course 5 gallons of water, fresh water, which we use all the time. And then in here I have truck washing stuff and straps, things like this. Charlie's dog food. Trish wanted me to bring the Nomad because some things really require charcoal. And then of course we have the Blackstone. I think this is like called the Adventure model. It's not the highest quality, it's not even the best grill, but it is the most convenient. We have our favorite Kelty chair right here. We've already covered this, but I got the large tools here, my go-to tools here, the Wahoo trainer, because sometimes it's just nice to get in a bike workout without having to worry about roads and routes and like where we're actually going to be. So Trish and I actually use that quite a bit. And then both of our bikes. Oh, interesting. There we go. There. It's on this Rocky Mountain track, which goes into one of these pegs right here, but I might have to strap it down when we hit big bumps. Our pump, and then let's come over here. And I've got some air tools right here. I need to kind of get this organized. I want to put the fire extinguisher here. I've got our first aid kit, and then I've got the NOCO for dead batteries. Oh, and then over here is where I put the air chuck. This connects to the 2.5 gallon tank so that we can air up the tires in the trailer. I thought that was a pretty good spot for it. This is the ARB one. That up there is actually a table that slides out. I need to kind of make some adjustments to it to make it a little easier to slide down. But so I'll share more about that. I'll share more about how this T-mat is working out. So far so good. I'll share more about this side bin, if that bin is convenient. Again, I've put things over on this side of the bed where I'm not really getting to very often, so I think it's gonna work.
I don't think we've ever left like this.
No, never.
This is fantastic. This is amazing. I think this is what an adult feels like.
We said it wasn't gonna happen. We said we were gonna be better this time.
Oh my gosh.
Now my defense, because it was so snowy today,
you.
I've only put it by the door.
Oh, so maybe it's better than it seems.
Yeah, kind of. What do you got there? Let's go inside and kind of wrap up some of the stuff inside.
Okay.
And then let's hit the road.
Let's do it.
I haven't even told you where we're going today. Drive-in movie theater.
For real?
For real.
That's gonna be really cool.
You're gonna go in your special little playpen that Dad made for you. Yes. I wish we got you a bath before we left. Yes. Yes.
Look at how easily those move now. That's so nice. So nice. Well,
What's wrong?
our 2-hour drive just turned into 3 hours.
Oh no.
I tell you. That's why we wanted to get out by 3, but we were just kind of waiting a little bit longer because there's some Amazon things that now I guess Carson's gonna have to pick up for us.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? Check this out. Huh?
I think it's a fun design.
It's a great design, and we have a couple.
I think you're gonna see your friends from far away. You're gonna be like,
Yeah.
boom!
Yes. We've got a couple other little surprises, so next Sunday, stay tuned. Someone remember.
Yay!
I had to wear it because we're hitting the road.
Yes.
This is Mark. We're Harvest Host members with a reservation tonight.
Yeah.
You know, we got stuck in Tampa traffic, and then we're now showing an ETA of 7:15. Is that all right?
That's fine. That's fine.
Okay, good. pretty nice.
Oh yeah, there we are. We're going through this one. How was it?
It was good. Have you heard of this thing called FM radio? What's FM radio? I'm just kidding. He said he'd meet me on the other side of the gate. Oh, he says keep going.
Okay.
All right.
This is pretty cool. Is this where we're going?
I think so.
Can we watch it from our rig?
We can.
Oh, come on in.
Right here.
Oh, nice. I like this. Thank you, sir. Look at that. Do you know the last time I've been to a drive-in movie theater?
When?
I watched E.T. That was the last time. This is so cool.
There's not just a little menu, there's a larger menu than a normal drive-through movie theater.
That's right. You know, we don't have just your normal drive-in foods like your popcorn, your candy, your nachos. We have hamburgers, hot dogs, french fries, mozzarella sticks, dogs on a blanket, fried green tomatoes, salads, wings, nuggets. I have a complete New Orleans menu with a catfish dinner, seafood platter, New Orleans style roast beef sandwich. I have the shrimp po' boy, the catfish po' boy, and I have the Muffaletta, which is the signature sandwich of New Orleans.
Wow. Well, we came to the right place.
We came to the right place.
My French bread and my Muffaletta bread is shipped from Gambino's Bakery in New Orleans.
Wow.
Out on Jefferson.
Well, that's what we're having.
One muffalata for me.
One muffalata. All right. Ooh.
Oh my gosh! I had no idea. He said, "You want a half or a whole?" I said, "A whole. I want a whole." It is as big as my face.
Peel up one inside. What's inside?
Oh my gosh!
And what is this called?
I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly. Muffaletta.
Okay.
Muffaletta, but it's an olive tapenade. It's a very savory, you know, different kinds of salami, dressing, ham.
Charlie's interested.
Yes, it's like an antipasti inside of a sandwich. But he said he flew this bread in from New Orleans.
Nolans. Well, have a bite.
Let's see.
Is it
You're
good?
gonna like it.
Yeah? Trish, can you hand me my sunglasses? The movie's about to start.
Vehicles, a lot of them don't know how to get their pocket lights off.
Yeah, okay.
And I'll go out there and tell them, we need to get your lights out. It disrupts the picture. Oh, they don't go off. Yeah, they do.
I think he said 97.5. No, maybe 99.5?
It might be on our receipt.
Oh. How's the movie, Trish?
It got a little bit more difficult. So here's the deal. Most drive-in theaters broadcast a movie audio over a specific FM radio frequency, but smartphone FM radio apps usually don't work unless your phone has a built-in FM chip.
Nope.
No.
You got any bright ideas in there?
Oh no. You can't do that. You can't record me in the morning.
It looks like you got a bright idea right now.
Be right there, Charlie. Be right there. Hang on.
Have a good walk.
Okay, we gotta think about it. All right, here we go. Okay, we need to be making a decision.
Okay.
Okay, I know you love these chats.
Yeah.
But I hate wasting multiple days on a drive.
Okay.
Charlie does too.
Yeah, I could tell.
Okay.
Both of you are a little rowdy this morning.
A little rowdy, okay? So we need to make a decision. Where are we going? Let's call. Let's get a resi.
Oh, let's get a
and
resi.
Let's just get there.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Okay.
Man, first you teach me about the karate chop, and now I'm learning about duvets.
No.
Whoa. Wow. Okay, now what do I do?
Now grab it.
Grab it.
Pull it through. Even have one finger band-aided. Okay. Little psycho. Off.
You go charge only?
Hi, charge only.
And then the lights over there.
Lights. Water pump. Anything else? Locked, locked, locked. Oh, yeah.
Okay, can you hold the camera for me and him?
Sure.
Check this out.
I don't even know what to say. Okay. Wow.
All right, come on. Come on, Charlie. Okay, obviously Charlie's not old. He's only 6. But because we have his little playpen now and things, I thought it might be a little easier for him to get up in the playpen.
I think a dog that's used to climbing upstairs would probably really like this.
Look at this.
Yeah.
Huh? All right, you want to get him?
There you go.
Here, look. You see the steps? You gotta use the steps. Good boy. Use the steps. Good boy. Good boy. Come on. I can't believe.
If Charlie can do it, any dog can do it, okay? Because this is not his cup of tea. Wow, wasn't that so much better? Your dad did that for you. Yes, he did. You should look at him in the morning when you want to go out.
I just can't even believe it.
I can't believe how quick that was.
I can't believe it.
Good job, Mark.
Hey.
I didn't think he'd do it at all. At all.
He loved it. Okay. You know that momentum over there?
Yeah.
He's not hooked up. He's not hooking up and going
Mm-hmm.
because this Harvest host allows a 2-night stay.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, there's 2 movie theaters, so why not?
Why wouldn't you?
Then turn left onto US
Okay.
27 North.
6-hour drive. We're headed to Auburn. I think we're just gonna stay at a full hookup RV park so that we can just be productive, get some work done, and then we're gonna tee ourselves up because we're gonna head over to Ronnie at Airstream Nuts and Bolts to add DC to DC connections to the truck. Yeah. And I'm planning on doing a very detailed video so that those that want to do DC to DC to their truck, that you actually have the steps. Ronnie is so good at explaining
Turn left onto US 27
information
North,
like that.
US 301 North.
So I think it'd be great. Thank you for visiting. And we'll see you again soon, huh?
Bye, Florida.
All right. State number 1.
That's the
Oh, what design?
the summer tour, remember?
Yeah, oh yeah,
Yeah.
the standard, the official design, we'll say.
Okay, the official design in off-white on the front. Okay.
That was a very necessary stop.
Better. Yeah, obviously, because we only have 17 minutes till we get there. Oh. Stop.
Here we go.
Very nice campground in Auburn. I'm pulling up my compass because I got to set up Starlink because we're going to be here for 3 days and we got a lot of work to do, so we want to have fast internet. So north is this way. Normally what I do when I set up Starlink is I just look around, and usually there's at least one dish set up somewhere, and then I can just see which direction it's facing, and then that'll kind of tell me which side of the RV I might want to be on and that kind of stuff. But it's facing this way, it doesn't really matter. I can just keep it on that side. How is it in here?
Well, I turned on the wrong AC unit, so the room is probably nice and cold. Meanwhile, I'm over here sweating, answering comments. Just like, why am I so hot?
We'll turn them both on.
I will. I'm just gonna get done with this so I don't forget.
I'll do it. Oh yeah, it's nice back here.
Someone said, I always love it when we end up in someone's hometown.
Uh-huh.
And then they find us for one reason or another. This person said, you were at Myrtle Fest, that's 10 minutes from my house.
Yep.
He says, and now I'm like binging all your content and I don't even own an RV.
That's awesome.
I said, welcome. And then someone else said,
Wilkesboro, that's where it is.
ah, yes, good memory. Someone else said, well, how do you get along by not booking out so far? Is it because luck of the draw, or you have an A, B, or C plan? I said, our plan is let's see what happens. That's our plan. So anyway, air.
Here, we have found that if you show up somewhere the day of or the day before, your chances of getting a site are much greater than when you're in the planning process. When you're planning something 2 weeks, 2 months to a half a year in advance, of course that's going to be booked. Cancellations start happening, people don't show up, and if you just show up, a lot of times they'll say, you know what, as a matter of fact, we do have a site, and they can put you into it.
The chances are not good, but we do have one open.
Oh, okay. Right on.
So you get it.
I feel it is my duty to say, if you have something really important, we call that your big rocks. That's our whole big conversation. You put your big rocks in first.
Yeah.
This campground where we are, reservations are not needed right now. When there's Auburn games happening,
No, there's no way.
you're not getting in here. I don't care if it's
No.
the last day. So just put your big rocks in first. You can't show up at a national park in the middle of the summer and think things are going to work out. Because that's just a recipe for disaster. Because the whole family, your expectations
Yes.
are this high.
Yes.
And when your expectations don't get met, you fall below. Like there's a value. There's got to be a mathematical equation on how you feel that reciprocally bad.
Yes. Once you have those big destinations figured out and you're just trying to fill in the gaps and you have the ability to be a little bit more flexible, that's where we kind of just show up. Or when we're driving down the road, we use Harvest Host, and then we'll call an RV park and we'll say, hey, we're about an hour away. What are the chances that you've got a site? And they can check. And in many cases, they say, you know what, if it's just tonight or just tonight and tomorrow, we're good. So being flexible, and as Trish said, having the important dates booked. Okay, so speaking of route planning,
Yes.
Holt's big concern at the end of his email
Yes.
was, I don't want to drive right by someplace only to find out later that it was like this most amazing thing.
The most amazing thing ever.
he missed.
Also known as FOMO, fear of missing out. I totally understand that. Here's why we track things and why we decide to put big rocks in first. Because when you're clear, like crystal clear, on what is most important to you, it is so much easier to let go of the things that you missed or that you can save for later. I'm telling you, it doesn't feel like it now, but as you're going down the road, because you're checking boxes and you're like, I am not leaving Mississippi without having biscuits and gravy, or I am not leaving Maine without my lobster roll.
Yeah.
Clearly everything's about food for me, okay? So when you're really clear, it does help you relax a little.
Yes.
Because then you know, hey, I did this, and you can celebrate what that is. Because the truth is, the country is a big place. And we say a lot of times that it's nice to have a mission. Like, I am
Yes.
going to do this on this trip, because you cannot do everything.
Well, and that's what the second visit is for, doing all the rest of the
Yeah.
stuff. You know, the first visit is so much about the obligatory things. I say this all the time. You're not going to go to Arizona. You're probably going to see the Grand Canyon.
Yeah.
There's other things in Arizona that are really great. And the second time, you get to do those things.
Yes. Okay, so speaking of missions.
Yes.
We have a mission
Yes,
for
we
this
do.
season.
Yes.
And this season might not just be this summer. It might kind of trickle on into the fall.
Because it's ambitious, like I
Because
said.
it's very ambitious. So should we talk about it?
Well, and everything with us includes a poster. Or does it not?
Yeah.
Because it helps with the mission.
Well, it helps with the mission, and when you can see things clearly,
Yes.
you know what's coming up, what you're set out to go do, and you're okay saying no to other things, or maybe later.
Do we know where the tape is?
I don't know where the tape is.
I have to go find it.
Okay. All right.
It's this wall.
You've seen this poster. I'm going to show it to you again. But we have, how many of these that we have not scraped off?
Well, we've been to 35.
We've been, let's review. National parks.
We've been to 35 national parks. There are 63.
Yes.
We decided to go do all 63.
We're going to check this list off, baby, with you.
And that means we have to go back to Alaska because there's 6 there we missed.
Yes.
We have to go back to California because I think there's 4 left there.
Yes.
Including things like the Channel Islands, which require, I think, spending the night and permits.
Yes.
Okay, there's national parks in the Virgin Islands, and then there's American Samoas, which is out in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. And we have to go back to Hawaii because we missed the one there on the volcano.
Okay, I think you just answered someone's question that that popped up in their mind at home, and they're like, if you haven't been to it yet, is it really that great? Okay, I think you just showed that we've got some really great ones.
Well, yeah, but you know what though? Yeah, okay. We're gonna hit some this year that maybe are not the more popular ones, but I actually think that's cool because I think some of them you have to roll your sleeves up a little bit and you got to get into it. And I think that if you look into the history of why it's a national park, I think we're gonna be surprised. Plus, we're not gonna need reservations.
I am super pumped about this. I can't wait to hear what people's ideas are for us. So if you have an idea about how we should tackle this, what you want to know, we absolutely love hearing from you. And that's it.
And what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on this season's focus mission?
Yes. So we're gonna start scratching off these puppies that we've already been to. Doesn't mean that we're not gonna go stop by some greats.
Yeah. We could easily revisit ones.
But how many do we have?
We've done 35.
We've done 35, which means we have to do?
I'm not that good. Okay.
20 something. So
28? Okay, while Trish is getting some tape for the poster, we wanted to chat about budget. What's really great about RV life and budget is there's so much that is in our control as RVers, opposed to taking a vacation somewhere else where you might be subject to hotel and car rental and flights and things that are just like going out to dinner, and those expenses tend to add up. With RVing, some of the biggest expenses is lodging and fuel, and those are completely in our control. Brad from 13 Adventures, he recently did a great video on how he full-time RVs around the country, where he'll stay, he and his wife will stay in one spot for a month to take advantage of like a monthly rate. And then they will explore everything within 100 miles of that spot so that they're not towing their rig with, less fuel economy to all these places. And then they can focus on work, and they can focus on laundry, and they can ship packages to themselves, and then they can really feel like they explored that area before moving on to another area. So, that's a great way to keep RVing within your budget, is just stay a little bit longer so you're not using as much fuel, you're getting better rates in the lodging. Okay. Yeah. Well, if you've made it this far, you either fell asleep or you actually liked it. And if you did like it, let us know with the like button. Apparently, I think it actually does something. And someone remember, next Sunday, plus, I think we're gonna do like a kind of a new family fun quiz, something.
Make some popcorn.
Make some popcorn, and we'll catch you next Sunday.
You okay?
No, I just stubbed my toe. And is it bad? Take a look at it.
What is that? What is that?
Is it bad?
It's gross.
I even have accessories for these. I'll show you those later. Charlie, is it bad?
Yeah, he says it's bad.
It's bad?
It's bad.
Gateway Arch, remember that?
So cool.
This one actually comes off very nice. Some of these scratch maps are a pain. This is good. Look at that, Glacier. Glacier Bay, Alaska, Crater Lake.
Did we do Glacier Bay when we were in Alaska?
Oh, no. And some of these, Trish, we were so close to, like Biscayne just recently. Or what's in Ohio? Because We're gonna go do that this year. So we're gonna take care of we're gonna do a lot of these national parks in the lower 48 as we go by. I can't believe we've never been to Big Bend. Canyonlands, Bryce. Gates to the Arctic. I think we're gonna have to fly there.